All right. Welcome to the channel. So this video, we're going to talk about Shawn Porter completely throwing Deontay Wilder under the bus, also throwing O'Shaq Foster under the bus, and every other boxer that cares about not getting injured by people that are cheating. Shawn Porter, Showtime Shawn Porter, just threw all of y'all under the bus. And let's talk about that in this video. All right, before we get into the subject matter of this video, I have to share with you an old saying that is very true. And it is that the job makes the man. The job makes the man. As much as you, when you're laboring day in and day out, endeavor to create things, endeavor to accomplish things, when you're in the midst of that job, you are doing the work. You are creating the work. But at that same time, the work begins to mold you. And you begin, because you cannot help but be affected by the job that you do. And so you will see over time that doctors and judges and fighters and commentators and that their personal views about the rest of the world are heavily influenced by the job that they do every day. That is what the saying, the job makes the man means. And in this instance, with Andre Ward and Shawn Porter, they are both going into a new job. And that job is starting to make them into something that I personally do not like, and I personally do not have a lot of respect for. I understand it, but I don't have a lot of respect for it, because that is a choice that you make. You realize what you're becoming and you keep taking steps down that road. And eventually what you wind up being is somebody like Oscar De La Hoya, who begins an organization like Golden Boy Promotions with the intent on revolutionizing boxing and changing the way it behaves. A decade later, he's out there getting caught having arbitration clauses and trying to get over on what I think, trying to get over on a boxer for about $60 million over the course of 10 fights, right? So Oscar De La Hoya was a bright-eyed fighter at one point in time, and he had all these ideas about how the world would be. But then when he starts being a promoter and starts moving and shaking and doing that, he realizes, ooh, maybe this is why Bob Arum does this. Oh, that's why Don King did that. Oh, I understand. These fighters really are stupid. They really do believe that they should be getting paid. They really don't understand my problems. And then, before you know it, you are no longer a fighter because you're not getting in the ring anymore. Now you are a promoter and you're doing exactly the same things that people did to you. Same thing is now applying for fighters that become commentators, because commentators are, in boxing, they are PR people. They are not really journalists. They are not really going out there and trying to find what the answers are, trying to find information that is going to educate you and help you make a better decision. No, the media people want to work for the networks. They want to work for Fox. They want to work for HBO. They want to work for The Zone. They want to work for those guys, those big companies that will pay them in order to push the narrative that company wants pushed. And that, my friend, is what Shawn Porter did. And what he did to Deontay Wilder and what he did to O'Shaq Foster just this week. And you can see it, right? I see Shawn Porter becoming the job that he holds. And as I watch it, I think to myself, Shawn, I think you're really making a mistake here. Because yes, you will get the big paychecks, you will get that from those promoters and those networks, because you have the name, because you're the champion. But what's going to happen is over time, your name is going to turn to mud amongst the masses of the people that were fans of yours before. And on top of it, you're going to do what you just did, which is lead to the detrimental or the mistreatment of fighters. But let me get into that, because I wanted to explain to you about Andre Ward and about Shawn Porter, why I have the criticism for them. I have the criticism for them in their jobs, because they are becoming the same media type of people that Steve Kim is, that Dan Rayfield is, that Kevin Iole is, that Chris Mannix is, and all these other people that they aspire to be like. And here's your proof. Deontay Wilder was cheated by Tyson Fury. Cheated. This is not up for debate. I'm not going to go through this video acting like Andre Ward and Shawn Porter do not know Tyson Fury cheated that man, because they do know that. But that does not keep them from doing their job, right? Doesn't keep them from doing their job. So what did Andre Ward say? Well, I know about all this cheating stuff, looking all down at the ground, all up like this. But if I don't see anything, I just haven't seen enough proof yet. Dog, get out of here. You see gloves with a hand in it, dude. Stop. You're full of it, and you're lying because you're looking down and twitching and all kind of stuff. You're just lying. That's my belief, that you're just telling a story. And then Shawn Porter just doubles down on the same nonsense, but does it worse. When he is getting interviewed by a guy on a channel, it's not a big YouTube channel, right? But I think that this thing distributes in depth through different platforms. And it was a guy that I used to see on ESPN. And he is reading off of this paper. He's not a boxing guy, but he's reading off this piece of paper. And saying, hey, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What do you think about that, Shawn? All these excuses that this man is making with this negative tone. And what does Shawn say? Well, Deontay's been on this rant for a while, but I think the big problem is that he just didn't speak up early enough. Stop, Shawn. Stop. People have been saying this about these gloves since March. It wasn't a Deontay Wilder rant. He hasn't said anything. But you see how they go? See how they work? Before, Deontay Wilder wasn't saying anything. And so he was quiet. You just don't know what to believe. But now, as he puts out one video and has 3 interviews, he's ranting, right? That's how Shawn Porter labeled Deontay Wilder. That, my friend, is a sellout. Then what does he do? Beyond that, he calls the O'Shaq Foster fight, and he just tells a lie. Now, did he originate the lie? I don't know. He might not. He might have just, like I said, taken that piece of paper that was given to him and read what they told him. I don't know, but I know what he said was not true, because he's covering the O'Shaq Foster fight, and he, along with the commentator, both lie and say, oh, the California State Athletic Commission caught this glove. The glove that didn't have padding in it. When that wasn't true. The California State Athletic Commission approved them. They had the gloves, approved them, wrapped in plastic from what I understand. And then it was after they approved it that the coach of O'Shea Foster caught it. It was like, what is this? And all of a sudden they're like, oh, we don't know. How did this happen? How did it magically, how are the gloves good when they came to the California State Athletic Commission? But when they get to but when you unwrap them out of the plastic and you give them to the fighter to check, all of a sudden there's no padding in it. How did the padding disappear between the time that the California State Athletic Commission checked it and the time it got to the fighter? I still believe there was no padding in it because it's a custom glove. And you know about custom gloves. But what did Shawn Porter do? He told you something that was not true. And then he doubled down on it with Lou DiBella, because he tried to dissuade, or he tried to, discount what Lou DiBella was saying. Because Lou DiBella was saying, look, this is a big problem. I want this researched. I want to know how many times this has happened. This is not safe for my fighters. You're not going to cheat my fighter, WBC, California State Athletic Commission. What is going to happen? But what does Shawn say? Shawn says, oh, Lou, they caught the mistake. So it's fixed. It's no problem. Just let it go, Lou. But Shawn, that's not the truth. It's not the truth. And you responded to something that was not true and gave an answer that was not true. So on the case of Deontay Wilder, you did him a disservice because, Shawn, he cheated. You know that man cheated. So what difference does it make when he actually speaks about it, when you've known about it for months? You don't want to do anything about it until he says something about it. And then when he says something about it, you call him ranting? No, Shawn, that's selling out. But why do I say that's selling out? Not in the corny way that I think is a corny, where people are like, every time you say something, if you don't say something good or you don't support a black person, that means you selling out. No, I mean sell out like the job makes the man, because you are selling your services, and over time you are going to do, and you're going to do what it is the people want you to do for the money that they're giving you. So you've now sold yourself to them, and you will become, that job will make you. And eventually you're going to be sitting around, and remember this, you're going to be sitting around at 40, 55, 60 years old around a bunch of boxing media guys that do not like nor give the respect to black fighters, and you are going to be right there joining in with them because that's your job. Just like Andre Ward sits up there and votes for people for pound lists like Monster Inoue, but yet you have Jermell Charlo that's not even on the list. That is ridiculous from a person with the boxing education that Andre Ward has and the personal experiences. But Andre Ward is not Andre Ward the fighter anymore. And Shawn Porter is not Shawn Porter is Shawn Porter the fighter when Shawn Porter's in the ring. But Shawn Porter is trying his best not to be Shawn Porter the fighter anymore. He's trying to be Shawn Porter the blogcaster. Well, from one blogcaster or vlogger or whatever to another, dude, it's going to be a lot of fun making money off of you. Because, dude, if you keep supporting this stuff, man, you're going to have to say what those people want you to say, because you're not going to have any support from anybody else. But that's my take on the scenario. You let me know yours. And with that, I'm out. Peace.